Hello and welcome to another, gear review video. Not done one of these for a while. Working with a bit of a new setup today, visually speaking. Instead of my previous head-mounted camera, I've bought a head mount for my GoPro Silver 7. So hopefully the picture quality is better, and hopefully it's a little bit less wide angle and a bit clearer too. So this is a modern copy of an older synthesizer, otherwise the old 303, the Roland 303, originally created as a bassline synthesizer, originally created to create a synthesizer that would replace the bass guitar. Wasn't very successful at doing that, ended up in the bargain bin sections of music shops, and then a certain thing called acid house came along, and people went, aha, here's a nice cheap bit of gear that we can use to produce this new sound. This does exactly the same as the Roland one, however is considerably cheaper. The Roland have recently re-released the 303 and are charging about £300 for it. This, less than 100. I got this one for about, I think it was £85 on Amazon. So if I just put it down, I'll talk a little bit about my setup here, which is a bit complicated, but it does enable me to record video from this camera on my head, and also process the audio from this, because as has been pointed out a few times about synthesizers, they sound better if you add a few bits of reverb and effect to them. So I have grabbed my Roland VT4, which is not strictly speaking a guitar pedal or a synthesizer effect box, but will work just as well doing either of those. And it's a very excellent piece of kit. You can plug microphones in it and turn yourselves into a robot, or make it sound like you're coming through a megaphone. But what I'm most interested in here is on its right hand side, it's got a nice little bit of stereo reverb. So first half of this video, I'm going to demonstrate the built-in patterns. Now, the one thing I'm not going to do in this video is program a new pattern into here, because I don't want to lose the built-in ones. So sorry about that. You can look elsewhere on YouTube. Other people have made perfectly decent short videos explaining how to program patterns into this. The main thing I wanted to show it off today is the built-in patterns. And something I've been experimenting this morning with, and that's that you can just hook it up to a MIDI keyboard. Now, it is monophonic, but you can still play tunes with it. And that's another way of getting if you want to see how it performs programmed by a sequencer, feel free to look elsewhere in the playlist you found this video in, and I've already posted a couple of videos demonstrating it sequenced via my laptop, which is hiding down there on the floor. But yes, on to these built-in sequences. Now, I'm probably going to have to stop talking as soon as I play this thing, because it's going through this new mixer of mine, which seems to amplify it a bit anyway. My microphone here, I don't have preamped. It's directly connected to the mixer, so it's coming through nice and clear, and seemingly with a minimum amount of hiss, but it's easier if I just stop talking as soon as I turn this thing on, and then I'll demonstrate what it's like with and without reverb. So we'll start with the reverb fully down. And also this has got some nice effects on it. And if you've got a few pennies, I would recommend getting one of these, because you can do quite a lot with it. It's very flexible, and more importantly in these days when everybody's got everything plugged into the mains, you can run that off batteries. This is semi-running off the mains. I'm running it off a USB supply from my nearby PlayStation 4. But yeah, a MIDI keyboard slave one with built-in battery pack would be rather useful. So if you want to recommend one in the comments, that would be rather nice. So onwards. There's 4 built-in patterns, so both with and without reverb. Here's pattern number 1. And we'll start to turn it up a bit. And now we'll add some reverb. So you can hear the full thing bouncing around in stereo. And of course, being a 303 clone, you can start mucking around with things. You can push it down in frequency with the tune knob here. And of course you can muck around with the resonance and cutoff. Let's just turn that reverb down. You can muffle it up with the resonance, and so you just start pushing both of them up. You get that lovely wet sound. Now something they've, if I stop this a sec, something they've added to this that is not on the original 303 is over here on the right hand side, hopefully readable on this camera. There's a distortion section where you can muck up the waveform entirely and sort of filter it through distortion. So if we start doing that, you get this. And you can make it sound even more acid house. Personally, I prefer it without the distortion. So far we've just been hearing the square wave part of this. You can flip it over and also feed it through out as a triangle wave through the oscillator, producing an entirely different effect. Turn it down a bit because my recorder is peaking now. But yeah, this is the square wave. Sorry, the triangle wave, which produces that lovely om sound. So let's move on to a different built-in pattern. This is the second one. And let's hear that sounds with some reverb. You certainly do start to hear the hiss on my mixer as soon as you... It's either on the mixer or the VT4, but something here's got a bit of hiss going on it. So that's fed through the square wave. And there it is through the triangle wave. I definitely prefer the square wave. And so we move on to pattern 3 of the built-in ones. And let's add some reverb to that. Again, I have to be careful as soon as you muck around with the resonance. It can peak quite high on my recorder. And then finally we'll move on to the 4th built-in pattern, which is the one I've nicknamed Swing, because it sounds like this. And let's turn up some reverb on that. It's quite basic, that last one, but I think it's my favourite of the 4. And then we'll end this video, which is rapidly approaching 10 minutes, and I'm trying not to make it too long, with another demonstration of what you can do by feeding a keyboard into this thing, which is one thing I've noticed nobody seems to do And let's face it, it is a synth module, so you might as well treat it as one. So here's my Alesis Q25 with the nice big full-size keys. And, well, as I say, it is monophonic. Now, I'm no expert on this kind of synthesis, so again, please leave comments. Why does it decay when I hold the note down? Bear in mind, I've got the actual decay setting here quite low. If I turn the decay setting right up, it still does decay quite rapidly, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. No, as I say, no expert on this kind of synthesis. But, I won't play too much of the EastEnders theme on it, but yes, you can indeed. Start playing actual tunes through it manually. So yeah, there it is. There it is. A lot of fun. And one of the reasons I bought this new mixer of mine is I'm hoping, and it's very untidy on that side of the room, so I'll only show you it briefly. But over on that side of the room, where I have to neaten things up a bit, I've got a couple of USB powered speakers, and I'm trying to sort of set everything up over there because I've got this. This is currently my only massively analog synthesizer, the Micro Brute. I've also got over there the digital synthesizer from Arturia, the Micro Freak, and there's some bigger ones over here that there isn't room for over there, but it would be nice to have a little area set up as a little mini studio area. And yeah, that's sort of what I'm heading towards. But I shall leave you with the sound of this, I think. And let's add a bit of reverb again. Oh, and the only thing I haven't done is muck around with the tempo, so let's do that. Goodbye!